Hello everyone and welcome to Battle of the Beasts New Generation episode number 20. Today I got two more combatants here and quite frankly both of these beasts are very good and I am really upset that one of them is not going to be making it to round 2. But other than that, I'm going to try and give them the best battle I possibly can because they both deserve it. Anyway, let's see the beasts that are fighting today. Jurog, Hammer of the Jungle, versus Torka, the Sky Snatcher. Both of these beasts look incredibly interesting. They're both incredibly interesting. And their fight, I hope, will be incredibly interesting. But before, I need some help here. So, Lucas, Impus, let's get to the stats.
Jurog, the Hammer of the Jungle. This gigantic, ape-limbed monkey beast can rip whole trees from the ground. His matted fur is purple in colour, and his jaws are lined with hideous sharp teeth. His tail is a spiked mace made of precious red steel. As for his awesome abilities, the red steel spiked tail, which can be used as a mace or a whip, strong enough to carry multiple trees, can create tremors, a furry thick hide, sharp fangs, and the agility of a monkey. This beast will be proving one enemy that you do not want to cross.
Torka, the Sky Snatcher. This monstrous dragon-like beast has talons sharp enough to shred stone and 3 long feathered necks, each bearing the bald wrinkled head of a cranian bird. Now, looking at Torka's awesome abilities, flight, sharp talons that shred stone, strong beaks, tail whip, and a dragon scale hide. This will be one enemy who's gonna prove quite formidable in the tournament.
3, 2, 1!
Jurog versus Torka. Let's get into this. So, as both beasts exit from their chambers, Torka exits through the sky chamber, Jurog exits through the regular door. Also, I'm going to do a rocky terrain area. So, bit unfair for Jurog, but don't worry, he'll make the most of it. Torka immediately sees Jurog and squawks all 3 heads at Jurog in intimidation. Jurog just, I don't know, bellows back. Torka swoops down towards Jurog just to bites him then and there. Jurog climbs up on above his chamber door and jumps backwards. It flies over Torka. Jurog grabs Torka's wings whilst he's coming back down. He swings down to the ground, land in safety, pulling Torka down towards the ground. Jurog releases his grip and jumps up, grabbing Torka's legs and pulling Torka down. Torka goes to snap at Jurog, but Jurog stops that by using 2 hands to grab each end of Torka's beaks with his 6 arms, and using his legs he's pinned Torka's feet down. Torka goes to whip his tail at Jurog, but Jurog smashes back with his tail, and then what Jurog does is that he tries prying the mouths open, but Torka's using all his strength to just keep his mouth shut. He realises he's going to probably lose that little fight here due to Jurog having more physical strength than Torka. So what Torka does is that he uses his side heads and just clashes them against his middle head, which injures Torka but also injures Jurog's hands as well, to where he just lets go. And Torka makes another snap, but a fake out snap towards Jurog, where he just backs away in defense. Torka is able to just fly away and get away from Jurog. Jurog grabs 6 rocks, 1 in each hand, and chucks them all at once towards Torka. Torka is able to dodge some, but then gets hit square in the face by another, hitting one of his eyes. Torka squawks in pain and then crouches, then comes back close to the ground, picks up a giant rock and flies it above Jurog and drops it down on Jurog. Jurog sees that and using his tail, with the red steel metal that's encased with that tail as well. He swings it and it smashes right into that rock, shattering it to millions of pieces. Jurog decides that they're going to play dirty, so he'll play dirty as well. Uses two hands each. He picks up 3 rather big rocks and chucks them all towards Torka. Torka is able to dodge 2, but when he's dodging the other one, it clips his wing to where it just knocks it out of commission, so Torka's just coming down to the ground. Torka lands safely as he could, and Torka, using each of his beaks to bite down on a rather large rock, and using his tail to wrap around a bunch of small rocks, chucks the small rocks, and then uses his beaks just propel forwards the 3 big rocks at the same time. What Jurog does is that he uses his tail to deflect all the small rocks, then picks up a big rock to deflect the bigger rocks as well, which shatters those rocks that Torka threw, but also shatters the rock that Jurog was using. Then what Jurog does is that he charges up towards Torka, jumps and pins Torka down to the ground. Torka is on top of his tail, so you can't use that to hit. Torka goes to scratch at the underside of Jurog, but Jurog already saw that coming by being out of Torka's feet's reach, so then he can't be scratched by them. Torka goes to snap at Jurog, but using each of Jurog's appendages, he's able to pin each mouth shut, and using his tail, he just hits each head in turn. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Torka is trying to make a squawk in pain from that, but can't because beak is clammed shut. But what Torka does is that they decide that they just lift their head forwards all at once, and Jurog's not able to take the strength from all 3 heads at once. They move their head all at once, causing Jurog to fly backwards a bit. Release his grip. Torka charges up towards Jurog. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Okay. And snaps towards Jurog. Jurog lifts his arm to protect his face. Damn it. There. And Torka slams his beak or her beak. I'm going to call Torka he, as I have been doing that for the entire time, but Torka might be a girl. So slams his beak down on one of Jurog's arms, snapping it clean off. Jurog bellows in pain and greets that head of Torka back with 5 fists that punched at that Torka's beak multiple times, and then greets back with a hit from his tail, which actually hits the top of the beak, shattering it completely. And then Jurog quickly gets back up and wraps his arms around that neck of Torka and just snaps it, just causing that head to go limp. The other heads of Torka screech and then bite at Jurog from both sides, because there's a middle one that he killed. Jurog's able to dodge that, and both the heads snap at each other, biting each other. Torka screeches from that, and then what Jurog does is that he grabs onto Torka's tail, brings it to Torka's heads, wraps it round each of Torka's heads, and pulls on it, causing Torka to fall to the ground, but also the heads get really tight with each other. And what he does now is that he ties the rest of that tail, pins it underneath a rock, and Torka's not able to move his tail from that rock. And what Jurog does now is that he goes up towards the rest of Torka, and then what he does is that he grabs onto each of the remaining heads that's alive's beaks with the top and the bottom, and start prying them open to where it's too wide for Torka, and just snaps backwards. Both of Torka's heads slump down to the ground, and the rest of Torka's body, the legs and the wings, just go limp. There's no more fight left in Torka, but just to make sure Jurog has done the job, he uses his 5 remaining fists and digs at Torka's scales in his chest and just pierces right through, pulling out the heart and crushing it with his hand, chucking it onto the ground and smashing it with his tail. Jurog goes back to his chamber ready for round 2, and Jurog has won the battle whilst Torka has lost. If you think Torka should have won, please in the comments below why you think that, but I'm afraid my word is final and Jurog has won. I'm going to be honest, I honestly did not mind which of these beasts would make it through to round 2, but I decided to give the win to Jurog as the multiple number of appendages and the fact that he's similar size to Torka, Torka's a bit bigger, Jurog will be able to just hold each of Torka's heads back. And if he stays out of the reach for Torka's talons, he should be fine. And that's exactly what happened. So Jurog won, Torka lost. But with that being said, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press that notification bell down in the corner below, and I'll see you next time.